just hit the high road.
Hi, it's Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And I've got two lovely ladies here. First of all, we have Karina Muller. And who's Karina? Which one's Karina?
I'm Karina.
I love it. Hi, Karina. And then we have Lana Gendlin. Is that proper?
That is perfect.
Welcome
Good.
to the High Road. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
so glad to be here.
I'm excited you're here. You guys, they have written a really cool book. I've never had anybody on the show. I've done over 400 interviews. Nobody's ever come to talk about pendulums and intuition. And you could see my little markers. I had so many little stickies in this book. It's practical advice for trusting your inner wisdom, trusting that gut feeling, that intuition. I love it. Pendulums and intuition. So I guess the first thing I want to know, I'm going to preface this by saying, Karina, you were born in Russia, St. Petersburg. You migrated into the U.S. when you were about 10 years old. And Lana, you were also born in Russia. This is crazy. And you left for the U.S. when you were 2.5 years old. So who wants to tell their story first? Karina, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am an immigrant. I came here in the 70s, and yeah, as a young kid, all I wanted to do was try to fit in because I was so different, I had to learn how to speak English. I had to learn how to, make friends in a whole new environment. And I'm like, okay, how can I just be like everybody else? Because I didn't want to stand out. I just wanted to blend in and be like all the other kids. It wasn't until I really, went to college and after college when I realized that it is what makes you unique. That is what makes you special.
Yes, absolutely.
So I learned to just really honor my own history and honor who I truly am and all of the great experiences and learnings that came from the whole immigration story. So just, for your listeners, it's all about the things that make you unique are the things that make you special and would give you your own unique gifts.
Yeah, because we're all unique. We all have a separate fingerprint. We're just like snowflakes. We're all unique. God made us all unique. You can say spirit. I love that. And I'll ask you quickly before we ask Lana, have you been back to Russia? You have.
Yeah, I have. I think we both have. You've been
You
back
both
too.
have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went back for business and I in a very, professional role. And this was about 2002 when I went back. And oh my gosh, it was rough. It was really rough for me because
Culture shock. Was it a culture shock for you?
I loved communist Russia. This was, the Soviet era when I was there in the 70s.
Yeah.
And when I came back in the 2000s, it was a very, very westernized country.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was not at all the country that I loved.
Okay.
The transformation that took place in the 25 years was just absolutely astounding.
In what way, if you don't mind? I know we're here to talk about pendulums, but I'm sure the audience is curious. What really stuck out? What really stuck in your mind about the
I mean, I think the country that I left was very much trying to be a communist country where, everyone's the same and no one has more than the other person. And it was a system that it just clearly was not working, which is why the fall of communism. And in those 25 years that I'd been gone, it had become a very westernized nation. So there was such drive towards materialism that was just so shocking because when I was there, we lacked everything. We lacked food. You'd go to a grocery store and you'd see empty shelves. You wouldn't really have much housing available to you. So, if you had a 2-bedroom apartment for you and your family, you were not a 2-bedroom, a 2-room apartment, you were doing well. And, the shift to a very materialistic existence was just so astounding to me, how quickly the country really truly shifted.
What do you say, Lana?
As far as my personal experience.
Yeah, what was your experience? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
you were young, so you don't remember.
Yeah, I have no recollection of living in, well, I was born in what is now Belarus. At the time, it was the Soviet Union.
Right.
And my parents came over to this country. I was 2.5 when they left. And like Karina, having that immigrant experience, I don't have any memories of it per se, but I have lots of stories that have been shared with me
Ah.
through, family and what I'm told. And for me personally, because I was so young, my parents felt like, okay, well, because I have an older sister, she's 5 years older, so she was 7 at the time, and she does recall, like Karina, our apartment that we lived in and just what that experience was like. I do not, but it gave me the sense of really innately wanting to explore other cultures and other peoples and where they come from and what makes them unique and what makes, our rituals, our ceremonies, our food, our just interpersonal experiences, what makes that unique about different cultures. So
Right.
that
Well,
led me to, yeah.
well, I think it's interesting. Now, I just want to ask a quick question, and I don't want to get political by any means, but watching what's happening right now in the United States, that must be scary because you probably see that, we like being free and you guys came here to be free. And there is a real push to make this a socialized country. And it's some scary stuff because, like myself, you guys probably have worked very hard, on your careers and what you wanted to do. And, people are trying to tell us what we should do and what we can do, being controlled. And that is, I mean, that's really a scary situation right now. I'm just voicing my opinion on this. Do you see that? I'm sure you see that as well.
Well, one of the things that we always try to encourage and live this, live this for ourselves, and is to really truly tap into what is your own truth,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's all about your own personal sovereignty,
Right.
understanding where you stand,
Right.
understanding what is really truly in your heart center, and being able to live that truth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Stop
I
the
would
fake stuff. Stop the fake stuff, right?
think so. I think in a time like we are living in right now, just to add to what Karina is saying, and this is where the pendulum comes in because it's an amazing tool that helps you really practice discernment,
Right.
right? Right now, it's really hard to know what is the truth.
There,
Everybody,
oh my gosh, yeah.
everybody has a different
I
version.
know. I know. What's real? What is the truth?
What is the truth? And you're fed all of these, messages and programming, if you will, through media,
Right.
social media, mainstream media. I choose personally not to engage in mainstream media. It's just not for me. But it's all
But you
about
don't know. You don't, I just want to stop you a second. The reason you probably don't engage is you don't know what's the truth and what's not.
Well, I just like to say, let's all practice discernment, and you get to decide what is true for you. And we are free, sovereign human beings, but we have been kept in this environment and this program, again, if you will, that tries to tell us otherwise. And so Karina and I, when we we didn't actually set out to do this. This all very much just happened for us. And we always say that we are divinely guided.
Yes. Well,
It's about, the pendulum allows you to really tap into what's deep inside of you and figure out the truth for yourself. And it does that in a very visual way, right? So that there's no question. Anyway, we can get into all of that
no,
too.
that's fine. I love hearing what you have to say. Well, I want to talk about what's in the book. I want to let the audience know that they say that pendulums are the perfect personal assistants for making important decisions. I agree with that because I do have my pendulum here. I've always had a pendulum. I can't remember a time when I didn't have a pendulum. You know what I mean? That sounds really crazy, but it's true. You say that the pendulum helps you access your intuition, which it does quickly and effectively. Okay, because pendulums translate your intuition wisdom into yes or no movements that can solve problems and get you unstuck from any situation. And they teach you guys how, if you've never used a pendulum, this is fabulous. It's a guide. It tells you how to do this. But I guess I want to start with the first thing, which is the intuition, because the big thing that I've learned, and I'll just be the guinea pig, is, you got to trust it. That to me is the biggest thing. And what I do, and I'm probably doing it all wrong, and you can correct me and tell me everything I'm doing wrong. But when I do it, I say, you're going to laugh. I say a prayer, first of all. Let me
That's
just say
great.
that.
Yeah, that's great.
But I want to say that I will say, like, I'll do it right now. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
So show me yes. Watch this. And show me no.
Yeah.
My name is Sally. My name is Nancy. Now, are you guys seeing this?
Yeah,
We are seeing
Yeah.
it.
This
Yeah.
is what I do every time.
that's great.
Perfect.
That's
You have a
great.
very strong connection to your pendulum.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
it's
do
a-
I know? How do you know that?
Oh, because you're very much in sync. It's part of you. It's like an extension of you. And a pendulum is really just a tool. And
Yes.
a tool it's a tool that is an extension of you, and it is a visual representation of what is intuitively guiding you already inside of you. And the more you work with your pendulum, the more responsive it becomes, the stronger your bond becomes. And the answers just show up in a beautiful visual way. So for those that don't necessarily have very, very developed clairs, like clairvoyance or claircognizance or clair,
Yeah,
knowledge,
I have.
any of
Yeah,
those clairs, this
yeah.
is a perfect way for you to practice developing your intuitive connection.
Right. Well, you talk about the clairs in the book. I was so pleasantly surprised. I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I get so
Oh,
excited.
it's all good. Yeah.
The clairs, because everybody has intuition, but
Yeah.
everybody has different gifts, and so what are yours?
Gosh, I think I would say my gift, and if I could potentially, like, if I can try to even communicate it in clear language, my gift is being able to really establish a meaningful, heart-centered connection with other people, so that this connection, this trust that shows up very quickly, becomes an avenue for them to be able to communicate their hopes, their concerns, their dreams, their goals, and their limitations. And I become that guide to
Right.
help get to their truth. So I don't know how to, if there's
That's
a one,
beautiful. No, that's beautiful.
I am just like a conduit to help
Yes.
other people get to their truth.
I feel that way too. Tell me how you feel, Lana.
Well, I think I believe we all have the clairs, all of them inside of us. It's just a matter of, accessing that frequency and then being able to understand how to work with it and fine tune it. And for me personally, claircognizance is a very dominant clair for me, as well as clairvoyance. I get knowings, I just get downloads. And I would say, Karina, like if I could sum up for you, like clairsentience and really feeling, maybe a dominant one. But I also I'm very visual, especially like when I go inward.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Everybody has the clairs. It's
Yeah.
just not everybody is aware or in tune with them. But you can learn how to develop them if you would like to.
Yeah.
Well,
Nancy, question for you.
Yeah.
What would you describe your gifts to be?
I have claircognizance. So I have a
Yeah.
clear knowing of things. I have a direct connection with God, spirit, whatever you want to say. I also have clairalience, which is not, which I didn't realize that's what I had until I was older.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
that's a psychic smell. I could smell disease or illness or
Wow.
anything like that. And I also am clairsentient. I'm an empath, but I think that my strongest is, well, no, it's all strong. It's all strong. But I
Yeah.
think I'm so grateful. How can I say this? I'm so grateful for my connection to God.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. I can't say that enough. That's how I feel about the whole thing. And, I just want to talk about the pendulum in this book because, you guys put so much cool information in here. I guess what I want to know, first of all, is how'd you meet?
It's a fun story.
Tell me.
We go back to really being divinely guided because so during COVID, we both decided that we wanted to formalize our coaching practices. We didn't know each other before this, and we went through a life coach certification program that was all virtual and online, and we kept getting placed in breakout sessions together, and we'd see each other and we'd be like, oh, it's you again, and then we both got our certifications and we decided to meet in person once COVID restrictions lifted, and we did, and we just really felt this very fast, deep connection, like we had known each other. We did not know that we were both from, the former Soviet Union, none of this. We just thought, hey, we're two women trying to get our coaching, services off of the ground. Let's help each other. We both have marketing backgrounds as well. Let's help each other, lift each other up. And we started working together to serve larger teams and things like that with coaching.
Nice.
And we started making bracelets and, just kind of like out of stones and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Purely as a creative outlet for fun, because we believe that we are all creative and we need to somehow
Express it.
express it. Exactly. And one day, well, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, I think
Go
I
ahead.
was just trying to, make a decision, for like out to dinner or something. And I'm trying to make a decision about something. And Lana asked me, she's like, have you ever thought of asking a pendulum, how to make your decision? I'm like, what is a pendulum?
Oh, seriously? Oh, so you knew, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been working with a pendulum on and off for probably around, I don't know, 6 years or so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah, so she takes off her necklace and shows me how to calibrate a pendulum to get your yes and to get your no. And I'm
Well,
going like, what is going on? This is amazing. So, like our bracelet crafting skills, I'm like, well, I think I can make a pendulum. I think that'd be kind of fun. So, like a week later, I make a couple pendulums. I gift one to Lana, and she's like, wow, this is really cool. And so we just, instead of crafting bracelets, we started crafting pendulums and just giving them to friends and family. This is just like a purely as like a creative outlet. And
right.
people are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Can you come and do a trunk show? Can you come and do a pop-up? And so we're like at these little boutiques and galleries doing trunk shows. And as a result of that, we also started expanding our own pendulum skills and our own like depth of pendulum knowledge, so we could really
Right.
truly service those that were curious with, what is a pendulum, how to use it to live your best life. And we were just on this like really great journey to learn anything and everything there is about how to, help humanity. And we're like, this is, we're taking what we learned in coaching school, which
Mhm.
all the answers that you are seeking are already inside of you,
Right.
We're
right?
like, oh
The
my God, this
wisdom lies within, right? The treasure
Yeah.
is
is the
inside.
perfect tool that can enhance that, and help a client or anybody who's, experiencing indecision or confusion or just needs confirmation, wants clarity and guidance. And we decided to form Heart Centric, and how that came about is Karina has her own coaching and consulting practice, and it's called Client Centric. and I have my own coaching and consulting practice. It's called Heart's Work. So when we decided to form Heart Centric, we literally took heart and centric and fused them together.
So
That
yeah,
was definitely divinely guided, you
my
guys.
company and the other one from Lana's, and
But all of
yeah.
this, I mean, this all happened so, again, divinely. We didn't set out to do any of this. Things were just coming to us. We were getting downloads. We really like to say that we are examples of two women who are living and breathing everything we talk about and write about in the book,
Good.
because we really let go of external expectations of us, and we decided, screw it, we're
Yep.
gonna follow our intuition. We're gonna follow the yellow brick road, we like to
Yep.
say. And when we really let go and started doing that, that's when the doors started opening and the right people started showing up. And, the book happened. I mean, all of these miracles that we were like paying attention to and taking notice, whether they were really little or really big. So we're just here to help others because it's available to each and every one of us, right?
That's how I feel with my psychic readings and my angel reading.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like I like doing it so much because I feel like I'm helping people. I just want to help, like you guys. And when you do this, it's like you feel so much joy because you help somebody, and when you teach someone how to do this, well, what do you teach them? Can I just ask? Okay, so we're just going to go through this.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if I didn't know anything about this, what would be the first thing that you would, I know you tell in the book how to pick it, and all that good stuff. But I mean, what would be, if I didn't know anything, what would you tell me?
So we do a lot of in-person events
Ooh, that's
all, and we literally we probably do 3 to 4 a month.
Oh,
Where
wow.
we're in person, we're working with people, they're there to explore and learn and possibly, shop for a pendulum. We also do a lot of speaking on
Okay.
pendulums as well.
Okay.
But a lot of people that come our way are curious and they're seeking something. They're seeking some sort of a deeper connection with themselves. But what we have found over the last 3 years that we've been doing this is that not a lot of people really know what a pendulum is or know how
Right.
to use it.
Right.
So we start at the beginning. We tell them, pendulum is an incredible tool that helps you tap into your own intuitive wisdom. And it does so energetically. And you can calibrate it to figure out your personal movement for yes, as well as your personal movement for no. But it's not the same unless they get a pendulum in their hands. And what we want to deliver is that experiential journey where we encourage them to pick up a pendulum and we help them calibrate it for their yes and no movements. And then we teach them how to ask questions.
Okay.
And whenever you see somebody program their pendulum and figure out their yes and figure out their no and start asking questions, there's this light bulb that goes off.
I know.
It works.
I love the look on people's faces, especially the first time. And then, they're like, oh my God, did I just do that? But we do talk a little bit about, the subconscious versus the
Well, and
mind.
I want to read this because I wrote this down and I've had this in my hand for a minute because that's exactly what I want to talk about. You guys say in the book, the pendulum gives the subconscious mind a voice through visual energetic movement, and it does it faster than any other method we know of because it's the power of the subconscious mind. And that's, because it's really interesting. You talk in the book and you do some history in here. I want to mention they do some history in here. You talk about how pendulums have been around for centuries, how they came really from the art of dowsing. I want to give your book some credit here. You give so much good information. You say the muscles in your arms are triggered by the subconscious brain activity because a lot of people are like, you're moving that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about this.
Yeah, so fundamentally, a couple of things, and we'll touch on this, but going back to like the fundamentals of working with a pendulum is the first one is you want to feel a connection with it, right? Like you said that you are connected to your pendulum. when you're connected with your pendulum, it is like an extension of yourself. So you are going to be so much more likely to use it. Okay. The second one is practicing discernment, or sorry, practicing being detached from the outcomes. And, in practicing detachment, and we'll go over this as well, you're really able to let both spirit and your subconscious have that voice. But your subconscious mind, it's like if we think about the iceberg theory, the diagram of the iceberg, your subconscious stores like 90 to 95% of everything that you know. It's everything that you've learned, everything you read about, everything you see on TV, all your feelings and your emotions go into this amazing repository called your subconscious. And your conscious mind is a huge bottleneck. It can really get in the way of what's deep inside of you. So the pendulum is a tool that is really able to work with your energy and tap into your subconscious. Your subconscious is connected to your heart and your mind. It's a mind, body, soul connection. The Heart Math Institute has done a lot of research into this and is now actually proving that your heart actually sends more signals to your brain than your brain sends to your heart.
Isn't
So
that interesting? Let's say that one more time. Say that one more time.
So your heart actually sends more signals to your brain than your brain does to your heart.
Y'all
So
hear that?
yeah, when we say, follow your heart, listen to your intuition, it's about tapping into what is deep inside of you that we, in Newtonian physics, shows us different, or we've been taught different, especially our generation, right?
Yes.
But now we have more scientific proof that the heart actually knows. It knows a lot because it is connected with your subconscious. So that's kind of first and foremost. You have to, so going back to my point is you have to believe
Right.
that your answers are coming from within and in combination with spirit, God, source, the universe, whatever term resonates for you.
Yeah, because if you don't believe, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Now,
right.
I want to ask you something. You're going to laugh at me. First of all, let me just say I'm sweating. You guys' energy is super strong.
Hopefully in a
I'm
good
an empath, and I'm just like sweating over here.
Maybe it's the
okay?
two of us together.
It is. I'm just, I'm an
Minnesota
empath,
and
and
you're in
I'm just like,
Connecticut.
I cannot stop sweating. I am so sorry, guys. I'm like,
You're
wow.
good. You're good.
It's like really, it's not
We
that hot
get
in here. And just so y'all know, the energy comes through Zoom, just like if they were in the room. So I'll just throw that out there. I was doing the pendulum this morning, and because you guys are coming on, I do it all the time anyway. But I asked about something I probably shouldn't have. I
Like
asked
what?
about, and it wouldn't move.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we can explain that.
But explain that, because I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Have you programmed your pendulum to learn what is your not now and what is your maybe?
No, I haven't.
Sometimes we are not meant to receive information at a certain time.
Oh, that's what I figured. I was like, well, God said no. That's
Yeah, it may not be a no.
It may be just a not now.
Spirit will tell you, that like now is not the right time for you to receive that information. But the way that you can confirm that is you can simply calibrate it and ask. You can ask, what is my not now?
Here, yeah, I'll show you.
show me.
So you can see
Show
that.
the audience.
Show me my not now. So my not now goes in a counterclockwise circle. And then I can ask, show me my yes, or my yes goes in a clockwise.
And it's individual
show me
to
my
each
no.
person.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
mine's different.
Everybody to calibrate it. My not now just stand still. So I'll say, show me my yes. Show me my no. Show me my not now. You see, it just stops.
So do I have to say that? So I'm going to do this, guys. Okay.
Yep.
So
There you go. You can just
show
ask.
me my yes. I have to hold it high because it's long. Show me my no. Okay, show me my not now. Whoa. There
you go. So it's good to you can program it for your yes, no, your not now, your maybe.
So what's it stop? Because it just stopped. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm not
Good.
moving.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that?
That's good. That's good. So now you know that if you don't get a movement from your pendulum, it's okay. It's not that you're broken or your pendulum is broken or your connection is broken. It just means that it is just not the time to receive the information. You can come back.
Slap on the
Like,
hand.
you can come back next week. You can ask the same question if it's still pertinent to you.
Okay.
But I was doing all kinds of stuff yesterday. Like I try to really, I try to live the stuff that I teach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was really like working through my to-do list
Okay.
and just really being intentional about making sure that the things that I do are all aligned with my highest good and my intention for the day. So I got strong yeses on 3 things. And then there were like 6 other things that I was curious about. And for those 6 other things, I got a very clear not now. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do the 3 things that I got a strong yes for. And
Okay.
then I'll visit the other things, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, and
Okay.
see if it's going to be the time. Just because that moment was not the time doesn't mean it's not going to be down the road, but just be, really, really cognizant that that may not be the time to act, or that may not be the time to receive the information. And nothing is broken. It's
Right.
just that,
Right. Yeah.
it's just a small pause.
Right. No, I like that. Well, you talk about the pendulum basics, and I wrote down use responsibility and be ethical, because you need to be ethical when you do this. The second one I wrote down was believe, which we talked about. I wrote down, don't ask a question when your emotions are charged,
Oh yeah.
because then it just confuses things, doesn't it? Is that what it just?
Yeah, yeah. I
I,
mean,
I don't know.
you wanna stay as detached as possible, right? Because you want the answers that come through
Mhm.
to be for your highest good.
That's the next on my list for the highest
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And when you're emotionally charged, it is very possible to sway the outcome, to, really truly transfer that energy to sway the outcome to be something that is not in your highest good.
Mm.
So if you are feeling emotionally not on stable ground, that's okay, because we all go through moments throughout our day where, hey, things just hit us, especially me. I'm a huge empath. So, it's like, okay, maybe this is not the time to tap in and ask for guidance. Or if you aren't sure whether this is the time to tap in and ask for guidance, ask your pendulum.
Yeah, I think that, you also, you want to get the most accurate answers, right? We're
Right.
looking for
Yeah.
answers. So what we talk about in the book is that you want to get grounded. You really want to get grounded, and you want to have a clear and open mind so that you can practice detachment. You do not want to, as Karina mentioned, if you're thinking, our minds are very powerful, and if we're thinking, I really want this answer to be yes, I really want this answer to be yes, well, you're going to sway the pendulum so that the answer is yes.
You think so? Because you do. Because I always thought, I mean, maybe I'm just I don't know. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
popping it out, but I always figure it's not going to let me get away with that.
Well, I think it's all about your intentions.
Okay.
It's about the intention you put into it. So if the intention is, source, I'm looking for guidance, please give me, the most accurate answer to guide me towards my next steps. You want to be in that frame of mind, and, not be biased as much as we can. I think as human beings, we're always biased, but we talk about some ways that you can do that in the book. And one way, if you feel like you are attached to the outcome, take some deep breaths, get grounded. We actually have a worksheet that we provide in the book in terms of like, how do you prepare for a session, and what are some visualization tools and kind of some meditations you can do to get grounded. But when you ask the question, you can just look away and think about something else, or close your eyes. Yeah, and then open them and see which direction it's moving, because that way you really are not attached to what source is telling you, and what your subconscious is telling
Yeah,
you.
and let's talk about that. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that you tell people how to ask questions in the book. So that's in here too. And I want to talk about how to pick your pendulum. But I guess what I'm really thinking about now is that, a lot of people have been afraid of this. It's not a religious thing, you guys. This is like a dowsing tool. This is all energetic. And I
Yeah.
think people have associated with like this with something dark or so. I want to say that because there's nothing wrong with the pendulum, you guys. It's just reading your energy field and it's reading your wisdom is all it's doing. And it's working along with source. I mean, I hate to throw that out there that quickly, but that's how I feel about it. So how do you pick your pendulum? What if I didn't have one? What would you tell me to do?
I would tell you to trust your gut, use your intuition. It's like if you pick out crystals or anything else, what you are drawn to, you want to feel the energy, you want to really connect with it. Anything weighted on a string can be a pendulum. You could literally, use a paper clip and a string, and you could use that as a pendulum for what we're trying to really communicate is that your pendulum really, it's like you're having an honest conversation with your own soul, and
Mhm.
it's an extension of you, so you want to love it, and the more you love it, the more you're going to be likely to bond with it and go to it for your own advice. So we started making them more ornate and beautiful, like a piece of jewelry. Like this is a Celtic
Oh,
triquetra.
okay. I want that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and this is a tiger's eye, and we use crystals and gemstones because you want to love it like a piece of jewelry. It's like your amazing guidance assistant, right? We call it
Love it.
an
I love
amazing
it.
guidance assistant or personal assistant in the
So what
book.
if I want one? How do I get one?
Well, so we handcraft pendulums. We make one-of-a-kind pendulums with crystals and gemstones, like Lana said. So we go to, like I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of in-person events, but we also have an e-commerce website where people can pick out a pendulum that is calling them. And our website is HC.
For
H is
heart.
for heart, C is for heart centric.
Oh,
So hcdivinecreations.com.
okay.
And so yeah, we have a bunch of different pendulums and they're always going to be one of a kind. But we have in our, last several years together on this journey, connecting people to their heart centers, connecting people to their perfect pendulum. We have made, literally thousands of pendulums. We've
Oh
gotten
my God.
thousands of pendulums into people's hands. And the one thing we know for certain is the pendulum finds you.
Yes.
And the right
does.
pendulum always finds the right hands. And we literally are just like, we are just the conduits, Lana and I. We are so divinely guided to just, like find these beautiful, like one of a kind pieces,
They're
like
beautiful.
vintage pieces of jewelry and stuff like that. We are just like, we are totally divinely guided and we just follow our intuition and we make them all the time. And we love to make them because we know that they'll eventually find the right hands
The
and the
right
right
person.
words. And we're just like, we don't know who this is for, but the right person will find it. And when that connection happens,
It's
it's
magical.
magic. It makes our hearts light up
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
because the right person has made that connection, not just with the pendulum, but really with their own heart center. And they're ready to go on the journey to themselves.
Now, one of you said yours was given to you because mine was given to me by my daughter. One of you, was it you, Lana, that yours was given, or whose was given? I
We
saw
have
in
so
the book.
many pendulums. I don't.
Yeah, like I think, at the very beginning, yeah, I crafted one for Lana.
Oh yeah, that was when yes.
Okay.
Karina gifted me this pendulum that she made, and that's what kind of, set
Started
us
the
up.
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can absolutely receive pendulums as gifts or give pendulums as gifts. And we have, we actually have a way to help people figure out how to do that, how to find
Yeah.
the right pendulum for someone else.
So we can help people pick it out online if they need some, guidance or help as well. We're available for that. But we have so many stories of how people find their pendulums. And like Karina said, even if someone is gifted a pendulum and it's not the right one for them, somehow it finds its way into the
Tell me a
hands.
story. Tell me a story.
Well, I was getting my hair done. I was getting like a haircut one time, and this gal who was cutting my hair said, Yeah, you know what? I was gifted a pendulum and I was with a friend one time and she just couldn't put it down. She loved it so much, you know? So I ended up giving it to her because it really belonged with her. Well, then I ended up gifting her a pendulum, you know? So it's like the right ones, and she was able to pick it out on her own, but the right
love
ones really find the right hands. I mean, we've had people who will, you know, be playing with a pendulum and then they're like, they're not sure. We had one girl who literally left and came back like an hour later and she said, you know, I just drove like 25 miles and I couldn't stop thinking about this pendulum. And she turned around and came back and got the pendulum. I mean, it happens in all sorts of different ways, but Kelly Wagner too, you know, ended up with her pendulum in kind of a roundabout way as well. So even if it's not the right one for you, it will find its way to the right owner. You will find the right pendulum. But most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, when somebody connects with their pendulum, it is their pendulum. They know it very quickly. And if they don't, we can help them be intuitively guided towards the right one. And that's actually a really fun process.
Yeah, and and one of the things that we love to do, to help with the journey is, we like using crystals and gemstones in the pendulum creation process because crystals and gemstones have healing properties.
Right.
And that is just so helpful to
Mhm.
people because, if you're looking to develop your intuitive wisdom, or if you're looking to heal your heart, or if you're looking for, more confidence, like having that pendulum with you that has those healing crystals is just another way for you to just completely just keep going on that journey to yourself.
Well, it's true. We get nervous. Like sometimes I get nervous and I'm like, oh, and I know, because I have claircognizance.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know, but then I'm like, oh, well, I better go ask my pendulum. And then I do it. And then I'm like, okay, I feel better. It's like, you
That's
need
right.
that. Everybody needs that little bit of confirmation,
Well, you're getting your validation from
Yes.
inside of you,
Yes,
which is so
yes.
empowering versus going to your friends or your family or TikTok or YouTube or whatever people are doing, which, your friends and family most of the time are well-intentioned, but they have their own perspective.
They have their own agenda, and
Right.
that's the thing. I am an intuitive and I do readings for people and I connect with the angels and my angel and I help people. But I really would like, my goal is really to teach everybody to do it themselves.
Right.
Exactly.
We all
Yeah.
have the ability. And if we could, my goal is like get everybody to connect with that light, and ground.
Right.
Then we're all on the same page. We're all like doing this kind of thing, I want to ask really quickly about cleansing. The reason I'm asking is because I was thinking about it this morning. I thought, oh, I need to put this in salt. And then I thought, no, it's sitting in this selenite bowl. So I
Yeah.
don't need to, is that right? I don't need to.
Yeah, we don't really recommend salt
Salt.
or
Well, you know why I
or-
say that? Because of my
or
stone.
or don't bury
bury
it, don't wash it. Yeah.
Don't wash it. No.
Selenite is great. Smoke
Okay.
cleansing is great. Reiki is great.
Okay.
Little bit of sunlight or moonlight on a full moon is
or a new
fabulous.
moon.
Yeah. So
So
lots
no
of
salt, no
Well, the
water.
reason, I guess it depends, for a pendulum like this, that is more like a piece of jewelry, you don't want to put salt on it or bury it in dirt because of corrosion. And I mean, you
Right.
wouldn't, bury your jewelry or put your
Right.
jewelry in salt. If it's like a metal pendulum and, or very simple, I mean, it depends on what it's made out of. We
Mhm.
don't recommend it because there are so many other wonderful ways to cleanse your pendulum and you're not at risk of,
So sunlight, moonlight,
Moonlight is great.
selenite is like I
smoke
have mine in the
cleansing,
bowl like that. Okay, cool.
Palo
That's
Santo or sage. But we also want to mention is that the pendulum as a tool itself,
Mhm.
you can use a pendulum to really truly clear energy. So I don't know if a lot of people know that, but you can ask your pendulum for your energy clearing motion. So just the same way that you would program it for yes and no, you ask, show me my energy clearing motion.
For
And
most people, it's going to be counterclockwise.
Can I do
And-
this? Should I do this?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
please do.
Okay, so what is I'm
Show me
uncrossing my legs.
energy.
Yes, get comfortable.
Yeah, okay, so what is my energy clearing motion?
There you go.
It's like a yes.
It can be the same as something else.
Okay, you
So
guys. Oh, I'm sorry.
So a couple of basics, but we just want to make sure, we always encourage people to use your pendulum in your dominant hand. So
Right.
that's the first thing I would say. Yep, and sometimes it's much easier if you can rest your elbow on a hard surface. So if you have a
Oh.
table in front of you, because you do not want to move your hand, you really want to let, energy and again, your spirit guides, your, source, the universe, really let it show you.
Oh,
And then,
I've
yeah,
never
so,
done this before. I'm just like doing it because I think it's cool.
yeah,
it's
You know what I'm
amazing.
thinking, you guys? My cat's over here, and you talk, and you talk in the book about pendulum and pets. So I want to know. I want to know a lot, but I want to know how I know what he's thinking, or so how do I do it? Like, can I do it?
well, here's the thing about pendulums too. So you can do energy work on your pets, just like, you
Like if I
would
was
work on
healing.
your own chakras, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm an
This is
energy healer, so okay. Yeah.
exactly. So you can absolutely work with your pendulum on your pets.
Okay.
You cannot know what somebody else is thinking or
Right.
believing, right?
Right.
Because this is another thing we teach. People like the first question they ask is about somebody else.
Oh.
Does Eric want to go on a date with me? Well, know what Eric is thinking or what he's believing, what's in his mind or in his subconscious. So
Okay.
you really want to keep the question about yourself. So there is an art and to how you ask the question in order to get the most accurate response. So
Okay.
a better way for me to frame up that question, and this is true for your cat, for Piper, right? Is it
Yeah,
Piper?
Piper, yeah, he talks.
It's more about, is it right for me or is it in my highest good to go on a date with Eric? Right? You keep it about yourself. So you could ask something like, is it right for me or is it best for me to do Reiki on Piper today? Right? Or like, you ask
Okay.
questions until you get a response, that is right for you, but you don't know what somebody else or another
But I
animal.
could, okay, so could I ask something like along the lines, he's only a year old, so is he happy here? Or he's been fighting with my other cat, or stuff like that, because I'm an empath and I think they know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just saw it in your book and I didn't read that section. But I was thinking, maybe I
Yeah.
could work with him a little bit more. And my other cat too, a lot of people work with the animals, right?
Absolutely. And the part in the book is more around how do you do energy work with your crystals. And you can use
Okay.
a pendulum again to clear them out. If they have ailments, you can figure out kind of what's hurting on their body.
Okay.
Pendulum will show you where on your body there might be dis-ease or some kind of infection. And we by no means claim to be,
Right.
health care practitioners.
Medical, right,
Yeah, absolutely. This is just information. It's a data point. So like you could ask, like, do I have a food sensitivity to this cheese and hold your pendulum over it and your body on a cellular level knows what's right for it. So it will show you a yes or no.
Just like
And
body testing. Yeah.
Completely like
exactly.
muscle, it's
Yeah.
like muscle testing. Yeah, very, very, very similar. Except there's so much more that you can do with a pendulum. Like besides muscle testing, there's a ton you can do with muscle testing, but like I'll give you one quick example
Okay.
of what you can do with a pendulum and energy clearing. One of the things that we love to do is we love to work with chakras as well as modalities like emotion code, figuring out what emotions are trapped and that are ready to be released. And it is like you feel like an instant like sense of relief
Yeah.
when you do that work. And I was doing some consulting work. I've been a consultant for a few decades, and I was at a client and I was working like with another consultant who was at this project, and she was really worked up, like she was just nervous and just not comfortable going into this meeting. And I knew that she would be open to energy work. So I asked her if she would be okay if we just identify what emotions are trapped and what emotions are ready to be released. And we literally worked with the emotion code chart. We identified the 3 emotions were ready to be released. And we worked with the pendulum to identify them and release them and clear them out of her energy field and transmute and harmonize them. And so she texts me later that day. She's like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you, that meeting went so well.
Wow.
It's amazing, right? Like when we are holding on to negative energy,
Right. Well, it's in your body. Yeah.
it's like it's not serving us. When we
Right.
consciously take a moment to let go of what is not serving us and get really specific about it, we
Right.
can walk in and have a completely different experience. So this is just a very simple way to address something that makes you feel challenged or uncomfortable or heavy at the moment. You
Mhm.
can do this work so quickly and easily with the help of a pendulum.
Well, now, so what did you do? And I don't want to get into the whole, we only have an hour show, but I mean, do you just test each chakra? Is that what you do?
Chakras are one tool, right? Chakras are, you test each chakra to see if
Okay.
there's any blockages there at the moment, and then you can
Right.
use your energy clearing motion to release any blockages that are there. If you Google emotion code, you will get these visuals of this emotion code chart where you can work with your pendulum and that particular chart to identify what trapped emotions you're currently are holding on to that are ready to let go. And
Wow.
then you can identify them and you can use your energy clearing motion to release those emotions.
When you
And
say energy clearing motion, you mean with the pendulum.
with the
So
pendulum, just like
show us what, show us,
you
show us what,
already programmed your pendulum for
right?
your energy clearing motion. So let's say you identify that the emotion of abandonment is the emotion that needs to be cleared.
Okay.
You just ask, I'd like to clear my emotion of abandonment, and you let it go and you let it do its work. And when the clearing is finished, it will tell you. For me, when the clearing is finished, it shows me my no. That means that that clearing process is done.
Well, you let it go until it's done its work, and it will know, it will do that on its own.
That
We
is cool.
Yeah, we provide coaching services. So, we do all of this work with you. If you want to learn how to do this or you want the work done on you, you're like, hey, I don't want to do this myself. Because, sometimes it's better to have a practitioner work with you and hold that space for you. You know
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
other times in between, we can do this work for ourselves because it's a daily practice.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is something, our chakras are out of balance all the time, and that's
Right.
perfect normal, right?
Yeah.
But when we can bring them back into alignment, our energy centers, that's when we feel like we are at our optimal best and we feel good,
Yes.
right? We feel lighter and just happier overall. So it's
Yeah.
available to everybody. There is an advanced practice if you want to, really connect with others, with, those on the other side. If you are really trying to understand what somebody else is thinking, it's an advanced practice, but you really, it's being able to connect with another's higher self.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So-
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here are the angels. Because I was so pleasantly surprised to see you guys do a chapter on angels, and I love the angels and I work with the angels, and kind of just, why did you decide to bring the angels into it?
Well, we love to work with our optimal divine teams. And we really truly believe that we are always guided and we're always protected, and we are always with our angelic team.
Right.
So, and as you very well know, different angels, different archangels are there to serve certain purposes, whether it's healing, whether it's knowledge, whether it's communication, or whether it's cutting cords.
Right.
There's an archangel for that, right?
Yeah.
Archangel for that.
So
Yeah.
with your pendulum practice, when you start working with your pendulum, the default for who you're connecting with yourself as a default, with your own subconscious as a default.
Your
If
higher
you
self.
would like
Yeah.
to go beyond, if you would like to connect with your optimal spiritual team, with your higher self, with your spirit guides, with your angelic team, or with particular archangels, ascended masters, you can intentionally invite them.
Mhm.
You can do that with your pendulum. You
Mm.
can invite them and then you can ask if they're there
Mm.
and you can get an answer.
That's what I
It's
do when I
beautiful.
channel. I just bring them in and then we channel, same thing, but you can do the same thing. I love that. I never really thought about doing it that way. I've
Well,
always
Try it.
done it differently. That's
For
interesting.
those who are just getting started too on their spiritual journey, I mean, for you, you're very aware of your intuitive gifts, right? So you may not need confirmation, but for somebody who is just getting started and they are trying to talk to a loved one on the other side or really trying to develop that connection with their angels and spirit guides, you're able to get that visual confirmation. Are you here? Yes. Are you here? No. Then you can ask to, bring another angel in or whatever it is. Maybe it's not the right time to be working with that specific.
And then you'll get that too.
And then you'll get that too. And then you can
Yeah.
begin asking questions. So really, when we talk about connecting with your intuition and your inner wisdom, and I think you touched on this too, Nancy, it's really your intuition is like a muscle, right? And the more you use it and the more you trust it, you build that trust and the stronger your intuition gets. So that's why we love working with those who are at the beginning of their journey, who are more advanced, but it's such an amazing tool. It's an ancient tool. So many people, don't know about it. They might have some kind of negative stigma attached to it. And we're here to spread the message that it is just another tool, like you would use, I don't know.
Meditation or yoga.
Right.
I
or
think your intuition, I call it a compass.
yes.
I call this your compass, and then this just kind of shows you what direction to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
It's a muscle, it's a compass, but I think in our culture, we're not taught to always trust ourselves.
That's right.
And so really it's about how do you begin to trust yourself and then take inspired action. That's the hard part. You may know, okay, it is time for me to quit my job and start my own business, but we're not always ready to go do that the next
It's scary. Yeah, it's scary.
It is.
Well, I just have to tell you guys, Karina Muller and Lana Gendlin, fantastic book. Fantastic book.
Oh,
Oh
thank
You
you.
are Pendulums and Intuition. Wonderful. You guys are doing some fabulous work for
Thank
humanity. You really
Thank
are. Wow. I mean, I'm just wowed by you guys. I think you're
Oh.
absolutely fantastic. And thank you for
We
doing
are wowed by
I know.
I can't wait for your book.
Yes, we can't wait for your book to come
Yes,
out.
I have a new book coming out, you guys. I don't push myself as much as I should, but it is a guide to angel communication and spiritual law. And I want to teach everybody how to connect with their guardian angel and to connect with God, spirit, the earth, whatever you want to call it. Because it's like you guys, I feel like I need to do this, for humanity,
Yeah.
it's not about anything other than that.
It's
Helping other
service.
people.
Like
Yeah,
when you're called to serve
Yeah.
humanity
you
and
do
you
it.
know the path, like clearly, Nancy, you know the path that you need to take to serve humanity. It is such an honor to do this work on a daily basis because you are completely aligned with yourself, your higher self, you're aligned with source energy, and you know that you are always guided and protected in doing
know.
this work.
That's
So
true. That's true. When you're connected with God, you're always guided and protected. I want everyone to know that. Don't be afraid, because it took me a long time to not be afraid,
Yeah.
and yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and we're so grateful to be doing this work, that
Mm.
we can.
You will
always-
be rewarded on the other side.
Well, and maybe that's not what it's
But you
That-
will, because what you do
Right,
down
right.
here, I have to say that, because what you do down here matters. You can, because I've realized, I guess I'm to a point now in my life where I've realized, I hate to get on my soapbox here, but you can make a lot of money and do a lot of things, but it's how you spread that wealth and how you help other people and how you care and the compassion and the kindness and the sharing and just camaraderie. Look at the camaraderie between the two of you. All these things are what really makes a difference, I think, anyway. So
Yeah, no, and thank you for those,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
for those
you.
kind words. I think we all are here to serve
Yeah.
and to, help transform humanity. And, our calling is just so clear. We're like, okay, we're here to help people connect to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when people connect
Yeah.
to themselves and when they understand their own truth, they are so much more likely to live in their truth and act on their truth. And that is what's going to make a world a better place.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do this, one pendulum at a time, one relationship at a time, one book at a time.
Yeah.
We're going to do this, and it's going to spread. It's going to have a domino effect.
Well, yeah, and it's important. I mean, it starts within us, right? We can't
Right.
help others if we're not in a good place ourselves. So it's really about, again, how do you connect with yourself and really trust yourself, love yourself, go to yourself for answers. And when you can do that, then you can help others. And
Takes
then
work.
it
Takes
has
work.
a ripple effect. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're not saying it's always easy.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
so-
yeah, it does. It takes work, and everybody's got to work on themselves. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Everybody's got to go within, because as we all work on ourselves and our vibration raises, and then other people see us, and then they're like, oh, what is she doing? Well, I want to be like that too. What can I do to be like that? I agree. It's a domino effect, you guys. It's an energetic domino
Yeah.
effect is what it
Yeah.
is. All
Yeah.
right, we got to get out of here, you guys. We've been talking for over an hour. I got to sell myself a little bit, but before I do, tell everybody your website again before we get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our website is hcdivinecreations.com.
Okay.
And it has all the information about what it is that we do. All of our products are loaded on there, and people can come and shop. But we are also wanted to tell you that we're both coaches.
Oh.
So we're both certified life coaches, and we help people on their journey to really truly live their best lives. So we love to help individuals and teams and groups of people. We do speaking, we do private events, we
do workshops. We do a lot of education,
Yeah.
actually.
and we travel all over the country. Like every state, every month we're in a different state, working with groups and teaching and
Nice.
speaking and all of that. So we are available for all that work.
And the book is available on Amazon.
I love it. Okay, you guys, it's Pendulums and Intuition. If you're listening to me on the podcast, if you're watching, you can see what it looks like. It's a fabulous book. It's practical advice for trusting your inner wisdom. And thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you coming on today.
So much,
Thank
Nancy.
you.
Thank
We're
you
grateful for
having us.
you.
Yeah.
It was a delight. It was such a delight. And we cannot wait to read your book.
And
Oh,
hopefully
thank you
you're
so
not as
much.
hopefully you're not as hot anymore.
I know, I'm not. Well, you guys
Yeah.
backed off a little bit. Hey, listen, I will say a couple things. First of all, I will be in Manhattan in October, you guys. I'm going to be the 19th and 20th at the New Life Expo talking about angels.
yeah.
Are you going to be at the New Life Expo?
We're
No?
not
Considered it.
we're not going to be at the New Life Expo, but yeah, that was one of the events that was on our list to consider. Yeah.
Yes, well, come and see me. I will be doing angel readings, and I will be hopefully my book will be at this event. It's the 19th and 20th of October. If you want to pick up my first book, Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You, I have it. If you want an angel reading, if you want an energy healing, go to my website, nancyyearout.com. I am just now launching a new website, and it's psychicforhumanity.com, because if you want your energy healing and you want your reading, or if you want to be connected with your angel, I give you your options. So that's it for us today. I thank you again, ladies. I hope everybody has a fabulous week, and God bless.